We celebrate this YouTube channel's third birthday, and we do this with building a MOC. Sadly, I do not have much time at the moment, and because of that, this year's MOC is smaller than the MOCs which we built in previous years. But using less pieces doesn't mean that the MOC is less fun. What we are going to build looks actually like a very cleverly designed build. Roadrunner and Wile Coyote. This is a MOC by FredL45. Instructions for this MOC were released on Rebrickable.com in March 2025 for €12. This MOC consists of 630 pieces. As the name already suggests, this MOC depicts the two Looney Tune characters Wile Coyote and the Roadrunner. I think it's a quite brave decision by the designer to name his MOC after the Looney Tune characters. But let's just hope that Warner Brothers is fine with this little fan project and that they have better use for their lawyers. I want to use good quality bricks, but at the same time I also want to save money, and that's why I'm mainly using Go bricks for this build. So I got these two bags here, and I paid for the pieces about €20 and about €11 for shipping from China to Europe. But I'm also going to use some Lego pieces. I paid for these Lego pieces here about €1, but also about €4 for shipping. And then I got two more Lego pieces, and for those I paid about 50 cents, but shipping did cost me about €4.50. So in total I paid for all the bricks about €21.50. And for shipping I paid in total €19.50. So you see, I paid for shipping almost as much as for the pieces themselves. That's a bit annoying. And yeah, this makes a total of €41. Well, since this isn't a huge build, I think I'm not going to sort my pieces. I simply will empty the bags on the table and then I will start with the build. Here we got the instructions. And yeah, we start with building this little floor here, this desert landscape, this base on which our characters are standing. I will come back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work as shown in the instructions. Step 59. We have completed the base and, well, this build is going to be much bigger than I anticipated. Have a look at the dynamite, how huge this stuff is. How tall are the characters going to be? That tall? I don't know. Well, we will see. Let's go on with building, Roadrunner first. Step 66. This is how the Roadrunner's body looks so far, and now it's time to start building the legs. Here are the first two segments of the legs, and according to the instructions, we are supposed to place those segments in there. So you can see we got these cross-shaped like holes, and we have to interlock them with these little red axles in there. The problem is that the angle in which we have to place those things now is rather unfortunate. We simply can't connect those pieces there because this 1x2 plate is in the way. I'm quite sure that once we have placed the legs, then there is enough space for the 1x2 plate. But it's just in the way when you want to interlock things. Have a look here. You can see the angle is just impossible. Okay, let's remove this piece. And now it should be possible to connect the legs. Yeah, this works perfectly fine now. Here's the second leg. And now let's hope that there is enough space to re-interlock the 1x2 plate. Yeah, there is. Huh, great. So we can't really follow the instructions in this step, but so far this is the only step which made problems. And as you can see, the solution was rather easy, so it's not a big mistake. Step 81. One of the pieces which we have to place in this step is this curved slope wedge thing, whatever, and we have to place it there, like, oh come on, like this. The problem is that the piece won't stay in this position because it is not supported from below. You can see here is a gap of the size of a 1x1 plate. We should place a plate there. It's not shown in the instructions, but I'm going to place a piece here because otherwise this piece just won't stay in place, and yeah, our wing would look strange. Sadly, I do not have another one of those blue pieces, so I'm going to use a black one. I will have to order another of those, 1x1 plates in blue, but I'm going to need those 4 pieces for the head, so there is no piece left for the wing. I will even need another one for the wing on the opposite side. Step 102. I think this is a very clever building technique, how we connect the head with the neck. You can see we have this 1x1 round plate with attached bar, and yeah, we interlock it simply with this piece here which we use as a neck. You can see it's hollow, so we can stick in the bar there, like this. Step 118. With placing the foot, we have completed the Roadrunner, and have a look here. It's so satisfying to place the foot. It just fits so perfectly. This is amazing. Awesome. And yeah, now we are going to build, the box which you need to blow up the dynamite. Step 142. Alright, now everything is ready to blow up the dynamite, and yeah, I think the thread I ordered might be a bit too long. It doesn't look as long in the instructions, but maybe it even looks better with the longer thread. We will see. First, I have to build Wile Coyote. Step 157. We have built the Coyote's torso, and now we are supposed to place it like this, floating in the air. This isn't possible. At a later point we will connect the Coyote's arms with its torso and this thing here, And the Coyote also will have legs, but for now, this somehow has to, levitate. Step 230. With adding the Coyote's head to its body, we have completed the build. And you can also notice that I replaced the wrong string with a string of the correct length. Well then, let's have a look at our completed build. It looks great, doesn't it? I think it's really amazing that we were able to recreate the shapes of these iconic figures with so few pieces. It's amazing. Well, let's have a closer look. So, what do we have here? Let's start with the base. It definitely represents, part of the desert floor, which we also see in those cartoons. And I think it's a cool idea that we get to see this, how to call it, this cut out part and not just simply a square area. This was a cool decision. Then we got here the dynamite. And it's to connect it to this box here, which says TNT. And it's cool that these letters are brick built. Looks nice. I don't like so much that the strings which connect the box with the dynamite itself, consists of these 1x1 round plates, which aren't interlocked with the base. So this can move or even, lay sideways. That's just not cool. If we had a stud here, everything would be a bit more sturdy, I would say. It's a small detail, but I think it would be worth to change this area here a bit so that we can connect those two pieces with each other, or the floor with the segment here. Okay, but now let's get to the important parts of this build. The two figures, the characters. So here is Wile Coyote. He is pushing down that lever to blow everything up. And he just looks so cool. The pose he has here, is just perfect for what he's doing. We can, of course, also adjust the tail a bit if you want to, but I think this here is the perfect position. And have a look at that nose. It's so detailed. It's really cool. And it's very cleverly built. I also think it's an interesting technique to create this angle here. So we are not able to connect his hands with the bar here directly, but with the help of these little bars, which are barely visible, these technic axles, better said, we can cheat a bit. We can make it look like he is holding that bar, which he actually isn't. He is, just touching the sides of that bar. Maybe this part here doesn't look so cool with those colors. Maybe those colors should be brown or tan. But other than that, I like the Coyote. He looks fun. And then we got the Roadrunner. And I even like this character more than the Coyote character or this brick build character here. We really didn't use a lot of pieces for this bird, but it just looks like in the cartoons. This is so cool. Have a look at this face. This slightly dumb face, but he looks friendly. Beep beep. So cool. And the legs. I really like the legs with those feet. It's really well done. We can adjust these feathers here on his head and also here in the back. But I think when we create this slide bow, then it just looks perfect. A bit problematic is that we can't see here this gray piece or those gray pieces on both sides, and I'm not sure, maybe the piece doesn't exist in this blue color. I don't know. But luckily it isn't too annoying, so we can just ignore it. Oh, that wasn't the right position. I think that's the right position, yeah. And it's really well done. I have no idea how you come up with these combinations to recreate the shape of the bird. I would have never thought of such things, especially the feet. Though the feet are not connected to the legs, but we can place them in such an angle that it just looks as if they were connected. That's so cool. And yeah, the way how we did the head and the whole body with the neck, it's just fantastic. But also the Coyote. The iconic shape is exactly recreated. You immediately can recognize those two characters. And I think it's always amazing what these mockers can do. Lego pieces aren't meant to be placed in such a way that we can recreate these shapes, but somehow they can think of connections which, yeah, normal people just can't think of. And here we got a result. Those are the Roadrunner and the Coyote. That's amazing. I really had much fun with those two guys here and also with building the whole thing. And there isn't really anything I can complain about. Of course, it would have been better if there was a stud to, connect the round plates which are attached to the strings. And here was a little error. What was it? I think this piece was it, which didn't stay in place. So the instructions were missing a 1x1 plate below this piece and below that piece here. So you have to order two 1x1 plates in blue additionally, but this was the only error in the instructions, and yeah, the missing or that here is no stat is a bit annoying, but that's all. There's really no critique which you can have about the instructions. The instructions that work perfectly fine. Yeah, I had fun with this build. It looks amazing. And you can build it extremely quickly because, yeah, you can see there are not many pieces needed for this build. Oh, and one tip, if you want to spend less money, I would recommend to replace all these 2x, what was it, 2x8 or 2x10, I think those were 2x10 bricks with, two 1x10 bricks. So I think in total we need 41 2x10 bricks. Let me have a look. Yeah, 41 2x2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 41 2x10 bricks, and instead of those I used 82 1x10 bricks plus this one here, so 83 1x10 bricks. Yeah, I think there's not much more to say. It's a cool build, I had fun, it was actually quite cheap. And it just looks amazing.